So now we're going to go on to our last HerStory Awards. Last but not least, she is Priscilla Garces. She is a climate reality leader, mentor, and disability advocate activist. She has undertaken many leadership roles throughout her academic and professional career. Despite her visual impairment, she completed her education with honors, including a master's degree in nonprofit leadership development from Fordham University. Priscilla is also an active member of New Jersey Disability Collective, a group of advocates with disabilities who amplify one another's work and share space to connect, engage, and revitalize our communities. She collaborated with the New Jersey Disability Collective in the passage of the recent legislation called workability, resulting in being featured on the list of top 100 policymakers on Insider New Jersey for 2022. Priscilla is now on the co-chair of NJYD Disability Caucus and is a member of several committees, including the Union County Board of Persons with Disabilities, the Union County Human Services Advisory Council, and the Township of Union Mental Health Committee. She hopes to amplify her voice to motivate others to continue leading in their communities now and beyond. Let's welcome up Priscilla Garces with a warm round of applause.
So I just wanted to read the inscription and also show you this. We made this one a little bit different so that we could have the braille there on the bottom. So this is HerStory Award, Priscilla Garces, for your courage and compassion in overcoming unimaginable challenges to be a light to others. Okay, hold on, let me pass this over.
Well, I want to say thank you. I, I just cannot express the words of gratitude. I want to thank WFWP, the Women's Federation for World Peace. I want to thank Katerina Connery. I want to thank everybody in this room for being here, all the elected officials, Patricia Perkins, the mayor, the assemblymen as well for being here. Everybody in this room has an inspiring story. And I would like to start my story by introducing myself a little bit. As most of you maybe some of you know, but others don't know. A lot of you don't know. But my name is Priscilla, and I was born in Ecuador, in Quito, Ecuador. And that story starts on a Saturday, on a spring day. And I was born 3 months premature, weighing 1 pound, 12 ounces. So if you can imagine how little a baby is, weighing 1 pound, 12 ounces, then you can get that whole picture. And that whole picture in your mind says a lot of words. And it tells a story. So I was born in a hospital that didn't have the right equipment to sustain life in a premature infant. And because of that, my parents had to travel miles to get to a better hospital. I had to be carried by my father in his arms and a portable incubator just without the necessary oxygen supply just to get to a better hospital that has more equipment. So and then when I got there, many people thought, well, you know what? You're not gonna make it. They told my parents, she's not gonna make it, and you're just gonna have to prepare for the worst. And then I was 3 months in a ventilator, and that caused a lot of problems. That because of the sudden increase of oxygen, I lost my sight completely. But you know what? My parents decided, well, we're gonna migrate to the United States in order for me to get operated in hopes of restoring my sight. But because the damage was already done and my condition was so advanced, the retinopathy was practically there was nothing that you can do. So I learned Braille at the age of 3, thanks to a young teacher who started teaching her first year. And she had the patience and the vocation to help me learn Braille and teach with the education. And that opened a lot of doors. So fast forward to school, I ended up graduating with honors in school, in college, in high school. But I had some setbacks, and life is not always the color of roses. And thanks to the support from my mom, who is here, she has supported me all throughout my journey ever since I came on this earth. And she has done so much to support me until today. And mothers are the pillar. And I believe that, mothers are the ones who teach, who have the wisdom, who guide, so that the daughter could continue on with the mission. Because a woman knows her mission. When the little girl becomes a woman, she learns her purpose. She learns her value. She learns that she has a mission on this earth. Everybody in this room have a mission.
Yes.
And, well, I went to college. And, back then, because I was in school, the technology was hard copy Braille books, which when I carried them in my back, it was heavy. I had a portable Braille computer, which was clunky and bulky. But at home, I have a Braille typewriter, which is from the 1950s. It looks like the 1950s typewriter. So that's how I learned Braille. And that's how I used to do all my schoolwork. And when the materials were not in time, then, I had to rely on people to help me read because the materials were not in an alternative format and in an accessible format at that time, because it took long. So then fast forward to college, and I managed to get my education with a bachelor's in diplomacy and international relations, then a certification in bilingual translation from New York University. Well, the diplomacy and international relations degree was from Seton Hall University. And then later, I proceeded with my master's in nonprofit leadership and development from Fordham University. But that's thanks to all the technology that we have now, like the iPads and the iPhone and the screen readers that is necessary for me to read. And that's what opened a lot more doors, because I ended up working with elected officials. And I also ended up working in organizations like the United Nations for a brief period. And I would do research and prepare different projects for presenting the staff at the UN, and attend different assemblies, different general assemblies, and talk to ambassadors at the United Nations for that period. And it was a challenge, but I liked it because I am a person of challenges, and I have this constant need to learn something new. Sometimes being in that same routine can become a little bit, I would say, stale, but when you learn something new, you have more exposure to a lot of different things. And you don't necessarily have to see with your eyes in order to go ahead and look around, because when you can't see with your eyes physically, you could just focus on what you can see within your heart. And this is, and my mission is to do the advocacy work for people with disabilities. And one of the things that I found out during this whole COVID-19 pandemic was that you always have to find a silver lining amidst the negative that is happening all around the world. And I found mine. And my silver lining is that when you use the technology to your advantage, like the virtual Zooms and all the virtual communication and the digital platforms and writing and all those things, you can connect with other people. Even if it's not in person, you still have that connection. Yes. Even if it's virtual. So for me, I'm not really missing much because I can't see the faces of other people. But I can just imagine. That's all I can do. And one thing that came to mind was that yesterday I went to an art exhibit. And it was an inclusive art exhibit where you could have, where there are blind people who have done photographs. And that you can interpret with your mind what you see in those photos. So what you could see within your mind, and I would just like to say, focus seeing within your heart, and not just see physically with your eyes, but you could see with your heart and soul. And that is the special message that I want to send around the world. Because all of us women, we have a mission. And we know what our purpose is. So let's live with purpose. And let's create a world where we can live more sustainable with peace. Thank you.